Welcome to the Badass Dad podcast, where we are a band of brothers committed to forging stronger fathers. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode. This is being brought to you by the generous donations of the people who have made contributions at our website, which is BadAssDads.org, BadAssDads.org. You can also find some promotional shirts and other ways to support the podcast as well. But just want to thank you guys so much for your support. Enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Badass Dad podcast. KDH here on the microphone and in the IronYetiStudios with Stephen DeShriver. And I'm very excited. Once again, KT, how you feel, man?
I'm good. I'm excited for today's podcast because it's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, it is. You know, and we've when we started talking a couple years ago, you know, I shared a concept with you, really the 7 F's, you know, you understand that we would have conversations around these, which is, you know, everything, I call them the 7 F's. So it's, you know, family, fitness, finance, your firm, you know, your business, friends, faith, and fun. And, you know, it's easy, I would say, really for us to have conversations just with intensity, which, you know, it feels like lately we've been having a lot of conversations, you know, with intensity and, you know, strategies. You know, we actually, you know, just recorded one talking about some tactics on, you know, how to be, you know, better dads and be present and, you know, do some things for ourselves as well. But, you know, the understand just the importance of us, you know, having some fun, you know, and I was sharing a little bit earlier also, you know, one of my favorite movies of all time is Rounders. And, you know, at the very beginning of the movie, Matt Damon, the lead character in it, you know, he's gathering up these stacks of cash and he's getting ready to go play a game, you know, some poker that night. And he's always been he's been a true grinder. He's a guy that just, you know, plays small hands, small bets, you know, out there. But, you know, there's a big game that's in town, and he goes through and he's talking about how he's been a true grinder through all this. And then he has, you know, at the very end, he goes, but, you know, if you live your life like this, then your whole life can become an effing grind. And, you know, and he goes, that's all about to change. Well, it's the same thing, man. You know, if we're just so intense and we're so intentional about everything, which is all important, at some point there's got to be some fun, you know. And, you know, I'd share with you before, although I didn't really give you my little you know, abbreviation to it, you know, those high value activities, those HVAs, so those activities that we can do that incorporate, you know, multiple areas, you know, that Venn diagram of those. But I want to spend some time just having fun, you know, just really talking about some fun things. I mean, you know, we got guys that are dealing with, you know, recent death, you know, PTSD, all these, you know, serious things, cancer, you know, divorce, you know, all the shit that goes on in life. But man, we got to be able to find some fun. And find a moment to have some fun, and so that life doesn't become, you know, just a total grind. And so let's talk a little bit about the value of having fun. I mean, it's easy, you know, when we're kids or in college or, you know, whatever, it's easy to go out and have fun. But, you know, why have fun, and why even friends, you know, during this?
Yeah, I mean, that's like I think that's where the magic is. I think of just times with my family, my friends, and just having those. You know, as a kid, you have these moments of just pure fun and joy.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I think you're just, as a father with a family, with a job, all these things, you just have those. You're so much more, I think, reserved, and you can't just let your guard down. Just kind of let that joy just happen.
Yeah.
There's something in us now that wants to say, "Oh, I gotta be careful," you know, not of joy. And so I just think of, you know, times with my family, and those times where maybe we're on the floor just wrestling. And it's 20 minutes later, my lip is bloody because my son headbutted me. I don't know where the time went, but everyone's just looking around. It's just pure joy and happiness. And there's no other, I think when you're having, not when you're having fun, but when you're having like unadulterated fun, with no, like all the other stuff goes away.
Oh. It's
almost like that peace, right? There's just peace of fun and joy and no bad thoughts. Nothing else matters in that moment.
Yeah. And it's so energizing too, you know, when time literally just slips through your fingers, and, you know, it's you know, that moment takes on a complete life of its own. You know, I grew up, if you will, for a lot of my adult life for the last 20 years, you know, in a business that really prided itself on working hard and getting after it, and, you know, constantly, you know, being in the grind and working and tremendous, you know, success and things come from that. And I think there's a great value in working hard, no doubt about it. But one of the kind of common thoughts that was shared in our world was, while you're building your business, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to say no to some things. Just like if you were going to go back to get your master's degree or your PhD or, something like that, you're going to have a season of sacrifice. And I remember one of the ideas that was shared on a regular basis was, hey, when your kids are young, you might miss some of their events and you're going to do some things and they're never going to remember that. They're not going to remember if you showed up to their second grade basketball game or not, or practice or whatever it is. And that's true. I think that is absolutely true. They're not going to remember. But our memories count too. And, I was sharing this with Gretchen the other day and I was like, my memories count as well in this. And me going to Bentley's third grade, basketball practice or going to watch wrestling or, something like that is not just for them to have memories and be able to go, hey, yeah, Dad was here during this time. It's for me. I mean, I love being there. We were married 14 years, no kids. And now all of a sudden we got them. I love doing those things and being there and being a part of them. And so I think, for me, one of the fun things I get to do is I get to go watch them practice or coach them or, go out and wrestle or, whatever. And that is rejuvenating to me, just like you wrestling with your kids at home.
Yep.
So what else like on fun? I mean,
so I think there's some interesting parallels here. Like I'm in corporate America and a lot of people listening are too. And there's a big focus around culture.
Yep.
And I'm in the tech industry, so I think there's just historically been a lot of, grind it out, long hours, like do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to work on a really, really special team at my last company before I moved jobs here. And I remember we ended up coming up with a slogan towards the end, which was like, "Have fun, get stuff done." It
wasn't stuff, but I know what you're saying.
And that was the culture we had. So it was having fun. I mean, doesn't mean you're not also kicking ass.
Right.
And so I think even in home, like, so in that particular job, we had a ton of work to do, lots of stress, but we turned that into just, we're going to enjoy each other. We're going to enjoy the time we have together. We're going to enjoy working together and we're going to produce huge results. And we accomplished a ton while having fun. It's not like you have fun or you get stuff done.
Or you get results. Yeah.
Or you get results. And so the family, like I can do dishes and I can cook dinner. I can do that angry, or I can throw on some tunes, rock out, invite the kids in, have fun, and still get dinner done. It's like you're still getting stuff done. It's just like it's more of a culture and an attitude of enjoyment versus, okay, I'm going to grind all week. I'm going to miss my kid's birthday, and then I'll be able to afford to take them to Hawaii. And you get there and you're like, wow, who's this family with me?
Right.
And
Or you know what? I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, but someone will go on vacation and literally bring their work with them on vacation, whether it's their laptop, their iPad, their phone, whatever, and they're spending all the time. They're on the beach, but they're like staring at their device the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Yeah, or if you don't, I think you build your relationships in these times of fun, enjoying each other. I mean, have you ever gone out like on a family outing or even just grinding and you get there, okay, time to have fun. Let's sit down and have fun now.
Yeah.
And you look around, you're like, it's like an awkward first date with your family. That's weird.
I mean, I'm laughing because I remember this was a couple years ago, and I don't know. I at least I see myself as, somewhat of a fun-loving, easygoing guy. But my oldest son Jacob, he said to me, he goes, "Daddy, I really wish you would smile a little bit more." And I mean, that was a slap in my face. I was like, and at first I was like, "Are you smart?" I was like, but his perception is so incredibly important. And so I really started, and I've been working on this. I'm not perfect at it, but I've been working on, okay, how can I just make sure I smile more? Because that's important to him as well.
Yeah, I'm smiling here because I have a pretty square jaw. And when I do not,
that's because you're sexy. Come on.
It is. Yeah. It's not sexy when you're mean mugging your family though. And so my kids like to, they all line up in a row. I was pouting there, and I guess a good way to put it. Just I'm not going to smile. I'm sitting here. I'm going to, and all the kids stand up and line up next to me, and they try to imitate my mean face. So thank you, Julia, for that. There's,
it seems. a little counterintuitive as well, to say, hey, we're gonna have some fun, and then you plan it out because when we're kids and we're going out, and our kids nowadays are going out and they're riding scooters or playing in the neighborhood or dart wars or whatever it is they're doing. It's very spontaneous, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we have to be intentional.
Here we go.
All right,
I'm in.
So so what are some ideas about having some fun? Maybe we do need to put some intentionality around it as well, to do that, to make sure that as a part of our culture, as you said earlier. What are some ideas on that?
Yeah, definitely. Before I jump right into there, you say something a lot on this podcast with how much time do we have with our kids?
Yeah.
Before what's the numbers?
By the age 18,
yep.
Yeah, 80% of the time we'll have spent with them. Yeah.
Right. And so all the feedback you hear from fathers and parents with kids out of the house is if they could go back in time.
Oh yeah.
Every time their kid asks them to do something, they're like, I wish I would have said yes every time.
Wow.
So this is coming from perspective of people who've gone past through us. So let's just ground ourselves in the idea that everyone who's gone before us has said, say yes to these moments. Yeah. First of all, when your kids ask you to do something, make your default yes and only say no if you have to.
Wow. Wait, say that again, okay? Because I'm literally just sitting here and I'm cloaking myself with you right now with a little KT, and I'm having a little guilt moment right here, and I'm thinking about Bentley coming up and saying, "Hey, Daddy, can we go play catch or something like that?" and just being dog tired and just going, "Ugh."
I say no a lot.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I do the same thing,
Yeah.
And I don't know with little boys like Logan, he lowers his head slowly. Like this, and he turns slowly and sulks away in this slow motion. You're a terrible dad, and just. But I'm with you. These, we're talking about now, but it's still in the moment. It's so easy for you to hold on, watching if there's sports on.
Oh gosh,
is there anything dumber than watching sports over hanging out with your son?
Man.
You're I know. I'm killing myself right now. So if you're watching or listening, I'm guilty of this a lot. And it's just something, so being intentional, knowing that your kids are going to ask for you to do something with them, just say yes.
Yeah.
And do it.
Yeah.
Make that your default. Right. You hear this, discipline equals freedom. When the alarm goes off, get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. When your kids ask for something, go.
Just go.
Just go. Just make that your default step.
Yeah.
Because even if it's just a few minutes, my son's like, "Hey, can you wrestle?" Sure, let me go body slam you 4 times, and then he's happy on the ground, and
right.
It doesn't take much.
Man, and it's so good because I'm just sitting here, thinking about some of the conversations I've had recently, with buddy Jason just had hip surgery, and so replacement, but his daughter's off at college, and he's telling me the story, when they're driving her off to school and everything, and how tough it is, and he's still got his son here in high school, and man, and he's reminding me, once again, don't miss these moments. He didn't use your words, but the whole thing about saying yes. Oh, wow. That is so true, man. Just, let's find a way to say yes.
Yeah. Make that your default.
Well, and we talked a little about it, on a previous podcast or one we just did. One of the reasons why you got to be a badass dad and get your ass in shape is so that you can say yes, right?
Oh yeah.
Because if you're too tired all the time.
Yeah, you have boys. My little dudes take off running. I'm very ready to go.
Yeah.
Or I have to be nimble and quick, or they will headbutt you in places you do not want to be headbutted. You want that youth, joy and youth, right?
Yeah.
To have that youthful energy, you have to take care of yourself.
You absolutely do. Well, for me, I was talking about the Venn diagram again, in finding ways, to have fun, and many times that will, involve your spouse, your kids. We've talked about that a lot, but also, friends. And as you're still a very young man, but as you get a little bit older, it becomes, I'm not gonna say more challenging, but it takes much more intentionality.
You're just speaking to my heart today.
to be vulnerable. No, but it takes much more intentionality to develop relationships with people. You know, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine that I've known, for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years. Roger, he actually has Lone Tree CrossFit here in town. And man, I love Roger to death, and what a great business. You should go work out with him sometime. But I went by and saw him the other day, and he was apologizing to me because he felt like he had been a bad friend because I have initiated a lot of the conversation. And to be honest, I was like, dude, I haven't felt any of what you're saying, you know, but I could see for him, and he's at a stage where he's like, man, I really do value our relationship. And I think, you know, to have some friends, one, it takes that intentionality. It's going to take you really stepping out of your comfort zone to talk to people, to open up, you know, to say, hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's go grab lunch. Let's, you know, do something like that. Hey, let's go work out or, you know, whatever. But finding some activities, you know, for me, one of the greatest parts of jiu-jitsu, and I think, you know, for me and, you know, the physical transformation that's happened over the last couple of years has really been because of the friends and the culture and the relationships that are there that, you know, have caused me to rise to the level of, you know, where they're at. But, you know, you get a new job. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're a team leader, so, you know, you got some subordinates, so it's kind of like... Yeah,
I don't have really a peer group at the moment.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. I'm younger, but I still think, you know, relationships and friendships are hard. You think back in college, right? I just walk to my buddy's house, sit down, crack a cold one, play some video games. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? And then you start working, that just stops, like suddenly. And I saw one thing, it's kind of a sobering comment, but I think I heard somewhere it was a question asked for reflection on, hey, what's the state of your relationships? It's like, hey, if you died tomorrow, who'd carry your casket?
Wow.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
That one hurt. Sure, I'm sure some people step up, but are those the men that you'd want them to be? I think of when my grandfather passed away, and he had, you know, I have many uncles, and seeing all of them, like that's just those guys stood up and carried. I'm like that's what he would have chosen, right?
Yeah.
We don't come from the age of like 8 kids. Families right. the old Catholic family down there. My dad was in, and so one thing I did. Maybe 6-7 years ago, my closest college friends, we all dispersed through the country. Mm-hmm. But for the last 6 years in a row now, we've gotten together once a year, and we rotate from North Carolina to Maine to here, and we just hang out and have fun.
That's awesome.
And I tell you what, every wife was all in on like, hey, please do this because we come back better from it. Because, you know, this last trip we went sailing. I know it's a little different lifestyle because my buddy Will has he's up in Maine and has some cool stuff up there. But we're just, you know, sailing, fishing, jumping in the ocean, like being like almost kids again.
Right.
And the energy you bring back from that trip back to your family is totally worth it. You're reinvesting in your relationships. You're getting your cornermen back that we've talked about.
Yeah.
We get together. I know once a year is not enough, but it's at least I can say, hey, how are things going? How's your wife doing? Anything, you know, hey, like, how's your health doing? What's going on here? And at least can check in on each other. And I think that's been a game changer for me. I know my friends really enjoy it.
Well, I think you're exactly right. I mean, and I love that you mentioned, you know, having a corner man because, you know, you can't be in the midst of a crisis. Well, I guess if you are in the midst of a crisis and you need a corner man, go find one, okay? But better to have some of your boys that are around so that when the shit hits the fan, you know, you got a couple guys that you can call on and to connect with. And, you know, part of having fun is having those friends. You know, we had talked a little bit before on the other episode, which was, you know, having that me time, that she time and we time. But some of that me time is going to be, you know, with some friends also, you know, whether that's, you know, going out and, you know, having a beer or, you know, I know we're going to go, Reed Perry is, you know, organizing a group of guys that we're going to go see the new James Bond movie, you know, coming up in April, you know, so we did that. We went and saw John Wick 3, you know, it's just a bunch of the guys just hanging out and just yucking it up. But it's so much fun, but it takes more effort.
Oh yeah.
It really does, you know?
But I think there's something weird about it too. I think you like intentionally build a relationship.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel just on the gut? It feels weird, right? To say
absolutely.
That? Like,
yeah.
That sounds woo-woo.
Yeah. Well, you know, we started off with, you know, talking about Badass Dads being a band of brothers committed to forging stronger fathers. Okay. But to have a band of brothers, I mean, it's got to be a group of guys, and that's not just coming through a podcast. I mean, that's got to be with, guys that are hearing this and now really all over the world, forming a band of brothers around themselves, going and doing things, I mean, I've shared it numerous times on this, just about, jujitsu or martial arts or, working out or whatever, but, hiking, whatever it may be, that you got to have those group of guys to sharpen each other, to sharpen yourself.
Well, like, so I know you like to throw around that I hike for fun. How many times have I invited you?
None.
Right. I know. This year it's going to happen. But that's just me saying that. Just ask, because I think it feels weird. Good. It feels weird, but if you just if I'm going to go to a movie. Or like I went to like last year we went to go see Monster Jam.
Oh
and I just texted you guys like, hey, do you guys want to go? You're like, and dude, all your friends, they're gonna want. People want to get together. People want this relationship. They want that deeper connection. People actually want this stuff. They're afraid to ask for it. Yeah. So just be the person who asks.
Yeah.
Like you'll build a band of brothers if you just ask people. You're already doing stuff.
Right.
Most likely you do something.
Yeah.
Just invite someone next time.
Well,
and like seriously, if I was like, hey man, I'm going hiking next week and we're gonna go up to see like a waterfall.
Yeah.
Like you'd be pumped, your boys would be pumped, and we would do it. We'll do that.
Okay, you promise? All right,
yes,
it's on here. It's being recorded.
It's recorded.
All 3 people that listen to this are going to be able to hold us accountable to it. So.
We'll do it.
Well, you know what though? I mean, I the Monster Jam thing. That was last year. We have a buddy of ours who has a band, and so he had sent out a bunch of invitations, and we just grabbed a couple couples and went and did that. We didn't invite you to this, but I would tell you anyway. So the Harmons and us are going to Disney World. You got to work though.
Yeah. This is awkward now. We're just making this awkward.
But just to be able to do things, and I'll tell you, and the courage to be able to step into the awkwardness, just being able to ask, and giving people the freedom to say no, but also giving them the freedom to say yes. People say yes more than you think. We were like, okay, for example, baking cookies at Christmas time. Invite another family over to make cookies with you. You lost me on that one. Yeah, well, I did. Okay. We made tamales this Christmas, and I invited some friends over. Say, hey, we're making tamales. Stop by anytime. We're here anyways, cooking. Just stop by if you want to help or eat or whatever. And man, the amount of fun we had that day, and just the joy and the fun in the household, and it re-energized the whole family. Yeah. And we're doing it anyways, just inviting people to it, like just to share in the experiences. Just invite people to be in your life. Just to invade people's lives is so incredibly important. I'm laughing because, Gretchen and I, really, we've been married. Oh my gosh, we got married in '97, so whatever that is, coming up on 23 years now for us being married. And when we came to Colorado, we didn't know anybody, and everyone that we knew worked in the same program that we worked with, and in graduate school and everything. And so once the 1-year commitment was up, everybody went their own way, across the country, from Florida to to Washington to all over the place. And we stayed here. And so one of the things we started doing, so funny, because I stole this from someone else back when my teaching and coaching days. Was we started hosting a dinner at our house every Wednesday. It was really for us to be able to build friends. We're the new married couple. We don't have any friends, but we started doing it. And so I'm laughing because I get a text message from Andrew. So Andrew and Elliot. So Elliot's his wife, and so he's a great cook, really a good cook. And I was like, dude, you got to invite me over when you're cooking some steak, man. I'll bring some meat over, whatever. So he texts me, goes, hey, I just want to let you know, we're going to come over to y'all's house, and I'm going to fix the steak and everything. And I said, great. So we're hosting? Yep. So he just did it. He just invited himself, and we're totally down with it. And then I saw him yesterday, and he's like, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know I invited Devin and Paula too. It's like, great, let's do it. So we'll kick the kids out. We'll just have the couples together. But anyway, hey guys, there's so many things that are going on in our world right now. People are, worried about, political things that are going on, civil unrest, racial unrest, financial unrest. So many different things. And there's some emotional confusion that's going on. But I think in the midst of all of this, in the storms of life, you got to find a way to have some fun. You've got to find a way really to keep your sanity, because if you don't get out there and have fun, man, it will become such a grind, and it will become overwhelming for people.
Yeah. I think we talked about children know how to have fun. They're going to invite you into their fun. Just say yes. We're kind of recapping here a little bit, right? Reconnect with some of your buddies.
Yeah.
And do fun stuff with them. Another one we didn't really touch on was a good idea is pick up a hobby that's fun. It doesn't have anything attached to it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things with fun is that what I've heard described this way, there's no expected outcome other than the joy that you get from it.
Yeah.
Versus I'm going to grind here so I can make more money later, or I'm going to invest here. So maybe it might be jujitsu for you.
Yeah.
Right? Pick up a hobby where I'm not trying to compete. I'm just trying to learn something new and connect with people, or learn a musical instrument, or learn how to cook, whatever. Just these meaningful hobbies that just bring joy in of themselves. Another great way you can bring joy into life without having to bring in lots of other people.
Well, I love that you said that, and of course I'm grateful that you brought up jujitsu again.
Always.
But that willingness to be a white belt, like you mentioned, a musical instrument, that willingness, to do something so new that you're doing it, and it's got to be like a little bit of fun because you're bad. I mean, the few times I've ever picked up a guitar, like I didn't know my fingers could hurt like that, But, same thing in jujitsu, or whatever it may be, there's something to be said about being adventurous enough and willing enough at any age to go back and be a white belt. That really is just fun. And there's no expectations.
That's the key is you can't, I think we're in a culture now in society with social media and trying to keep up with people, and like you're never good enough.
Don't make enough money. You don't drive the right car.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're fit but not fit enough. Right. It's just, I think for you to have joy and to find joy, get rid of those expectations and just enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the people you're with. That's the expectation, is just to enjoy what you have.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. Absolutely love it. Well, let's put a bow on this. Very excited about all that is going on, our direction for 2020. We got a little video going on too, so we're going to be able to get on some YouTube, so you could check us out there as well. And so thankful for Steven, just doing an amazing job with the IronYetiStudios. And so you're going to be hearing more about that as well. Hey, if this comes out, which hopefully it will come out before Saturday, February 1st, so the day before the Super Bowl, then the Fit Republic will be doing their grand opening. So they're open right now, but they're doing their grand opening. And they got all of Jocko's products over there, the supplements and everything, which is kind of cool if you want to help support that. They got a bunch of other things. But go see Kyle and Teresa and Trevor, right? Trevor? Yes, Trevor. And so thankful for those guys, man. No sponsorship, no nothing, man. Just so grateful for those guys and all that they're doing. So we just want to support our friends and those guys that we get a chance to hang with. So, hey, guys, have a badass day. Be a badass dad, and let's have a badass week. And we're out. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys again just for listening to this episode of Badass Dads. Hey, if you found this episode helpful, if it's beneficial, if it's shareable, man, we'd love for you to pass it on to someone. Previous episodes you can check out on our podcast page, on iTunes, on Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, check out our website, BadAssDads.org. That's BadAssDads.org. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram pages. So please, love the support. Check all that out. Let's get this movement going. And we are committed to forging stronger fathers. Be a part of the movement. We're out.